David Ragan made some pointed comments following the conclusion of the Daytona 500 last night. This is what he posted on X. I really hate the great American race has turned into such a wreck fest the last 25 laps. This was obviously echoed by Mark Martin, who reposted that. And it's pretty accurate. That is pretty much what happened. I mean, we can go through and look at what happened. Here is the first wreck here. This is over at Fox NASCAR on X. You can see the wreck between Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Joey Logano. This was, I think, lap 186, so there was only 14 laps to go. So you can even say it wasn't even the last 25. It was the last 15. But here is this wreck right here. So Logano's going to get the big run. He's going to try to fill the gap in the middle. Stenhouse comes down to block. Logano lets off. Stenhouse lets get squirrely. Logano moves down, comes back up, moves back down again. Stenhouse moves up. Logano tries to fill the gap. Stenhouse comes back down, and chaos ensues. Everyone is getting wrecked right there. Gragson, Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch is on the inside there, spinning off into the inside wall. There you go. You can see him over there. But lots and lots of people wrecked. And 10 laps later? So remember, they have all the caution flags. So they're not even racing. But 10 laps later, this is probably the scariest wreck with Christopher Bell getting a push from Cole Custer. He gets slammed into the outside wall. So he slams into the wall and then comes back off the wall, gets Ryan Preece. Preece goes flying down the backstretch there and then up and into the outside wall. Brutal wreck. Extraordinarily scary. And I mean, he's flying through the air.
It was one too many.
He's flying through the air for quite a bit. Here's another look at it. I mean, he's flying through the air. Look at that. I mean, just like a jet taking off. And then just hard into that wall. So brutal, scary wreck there for Ryan Preece. Here's another look. I mean, he's so long up in the air there. Then he flips when the roof flap deploys. And then he slides on the top of his car. I mean, fortunately, another car didn't come in and slam right into him there, because he's perpendicular to the track. Just an awful wreck. And then this was the overtime, last lap. We actually had some really good driving here by Riley Herbst. He's able to save his car. Look at this great save Riley Herbst is. He's down in the infield. Saves it and is able to get back. And then we got Denny Hamlin pushing Austin Cindric right here through turns 1 and 2. Corey LaJoie getting a little loose there from the pushes from John Hunter. Cole Custer comes down, tries to side draft, and I think he makes contact with Briscoe. And then all kind of chaos ensues right there. I don't even know, like so many cars getting caught up. Then they don't waive the caution this time. They let him run back to the start finish, and William Byron ends up winning. But 3 wrecks within 20 laps, because you go into overtime, etc. And it's just a wreck fest. It really is. It's like, what is the point of even racing this entire race? They just kind of drove around. I mean, I guess you have the stage points now, so there is something, I guess, towards the end where you can salvage it. I think that's what happened with Ryan Blaney. He was actually able to get back out there, and I think he ended up finishing in 7th position. I think he's currently at the top of the points because he did win stage 2, got those 10 points, had a 7th place finish, and I think he got a couple points in stage 1 as well. So I think he has like 48 points total, and he's in the lead right now. But I mean, really, aside from the stage points, they were just kind of riding around, saving fuel mileage. I guess there was some jockeying for a position, I guess, where you are trying to get in and get some of those stage points. But at the end of the day, it really is just kind of ride around for the first 180 laps, and then it just turns into a wreck fest in the last 25 laps. I don't find it entertaining at all. I don't find it enjoyable to watch. Doesn't really seem like there is a lot of skill involved. It's all about whether or not you survive the wreck. And if you survive, and hope that you're the first person to survive the wreck and you're ahead. And that's really kind of what happened there with William Byron and how he won that race. But it's just not enjoyable. Ryan Preece had some pointed comments that he made. This is what he said to Fox after being cleared from the care center here. Let's take a listen.
This car safe and sound. Seems like the pack straight away in Daytona, you are not friends here.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the diffuser or what that makes these cars like a sheet of plywood when you walk out on a windy day. But, you know, when the car took off like that and I got real quiet, all I thought about was my daughter. So I'm lucky to walk away, but we're getting really close to somebody not being able to. So very grateful for, yeah, that sucks. We just had, I mean, this thing was fast. And, you know, thanks to Build Submarines, thanks to Kroger, Castrol, Mohawk, Fifth Third Bank, everybody at RFK Racing. It's frustrating when you end your day like this.
We're glad you're okay. Thanks, Ryan.
So that is what he had to say to Fox. He has some more comments here with Matt Weaver.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just, yeah, I mean, I don't know what the right thing to say right now is, but I think the thing I want to say as a father, as a racer, is we keep beating on a door, hoping for a different result. And I think we know where there's a problem at super speedways. So I don't want to be the example of you know, when it finally does get somebody. I don't want it to be me. You know, I got a 2-year-old daughter, and just like a lot of us, we have families. So something needs to be done, because cars lifting off the ground like that, I mean, that felt honestly worse than Daytona in 23. So I don't know.
When you say it felt worse, like the hit was worse, or just
everything about
that being air?
I mean, everything about that. Airborne, heading towards the fence. I mean, it's not a good place to be in. So honestly, with a hit like that, a head-on impact, I don't really think it should have gone airborne, right? So I'm just not very, very happy. But ultimately, I think the thing I want to say is we had a really fast car. It's just you can only do so much when everybody stacks up. So, you know, safe.
So that is what Ryan Preece had to say. Obviously, I think there's some implication there that NASCAR should be changing how they have these cars racing in these packs. And I think he's right. I think we need to get out of this kind of pack racing. It leads to these massive, massive wrecks. And that's to say we aren't going to have bad wrecks because they're running at super high speeds, and wrecks are going to happen. But I do think maybe there is something to say about this format. Obviously, there clearly are people that like this stuff, but for me, it's just kind of racing around, and then they go at the end, and it's like, well, why don't you just have them line up and run 30 laps, right? I mean, if that's what we're going to do, just line them up, do a 30-lap race, and have at it, instead of having to like drag it out for all the commercials, I guess, that you get. But I don't know. I think there has to be something that they can change. I'm just not seeing this pack racing being enjoyable, because it really is just, I guess the reason why you watch it isn't, you're not really watching to see the skill, the talent, the adrenaline, everything. You're just kind of, you're watching is like, when is the wreck going to happen? That's kind of your motivation to watch. When is the wreck going to happen? You're watching for the wreck in this case now, I think that's kind of what these super speedways are. You just watch for the wreck now. And that's the whole entire point of the race. And I just don't think that's what it should be at all. And I think NASCAR needs to really look at that, needs to, I think, make some changes to that. But let me know what you guys make of this. What do you make of what David Ragan had to say? What do you make here of what Ryan Preece had to say? Let me know in the comments below.